process. What? Yeah, we have ways of making you pronounce three in this country. What's that? Yeah, go for it. And welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 U.S. National Snooker Championships here live at the Champion Snooker Club in Concord, California. Big battle here. Dave Daly, originally from Ireland, taking on Mike Collier, originally from England. That's where the game is thriving. Let's see what these two soldiers can do on American soil. They were there. They were eager to go, and now they've kind of just disappeared. Maybe they're just... Oh, there it is. They're just off camera, flipping the coin, deciding who's going to break off. And here comes Mike set to break off, but just letting a player on a close table take their shot. And it's game on, frame on. Best of three. Mike, definitely one of the taller gentlemen of the tournament. There was a gentleman in here, I'm not sure of his name, but I sometimes mention Robert Walden, the 8-foot giant, tallest man. Probably never had to use a rest on a snooker table. This gentleman is getting pretty close to being that height as well. But alas, Dave Daly trying to get in early. Try to long red. Black a little bit safe. Pink is safe. So it's a relatively easy starter here for Mike. He's going to have to follow through and go around off maybe 3 cushions to get back onto the blue. Unfortunately, just cannon into that red. Had the idea. I think he might have, with that shot, he has opened up the black. So, don't know a lot about Mike. Obviously, originally coming from England. If you're a snooker player, you're probably pretty good. You know, is he the dark horse? You know, last year I was really touting Tom Lamore. Originally from Europe, but now lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. His lovely wife Mary, who's in attendance today. Last year I was thinking Tom had the skill to do something. Didn't know much about him at that time. And Tom actually made the semifinals. And a small world story. There's Hannah Lisovenko and her daughter Margot Lisovenko, and then another gentleman, Anton Fedishin, who help out with my tournaments back in Vancouver, Canada. They actually know Tom from way back in the European days. So the world may be big, but sometimes the snooker community is a little small. Nice putt there. Might have just got a little close. I think that yellow is just being a pain for him. Might be covering the path for this blue to find home. Well, he thinks it could go. It just might sneak by. And he's made it. He's successful. That's a shot I'd like to have back. Just fumbled through with the cue. That's always tough when your cue ball's against the cushion. Do have an active chat on the PAPSA YouTube channel where you're finding this great action. Feel free to shoot us a comment or question. Dave, a little bit of... Ooh, I thought he was going to have a bit of fortune. It looked like he might be staying around those reds, but just flicked off a running around red and put his cue ball on its way into the bulk area, but found the yellow pocket. So 4-point foul awarded to Mike Collier. I wonder if there's any relation to Paul Collier. Haven't had a chance to talk to Mike. Looks like we might just have a little safety exchange here. Both players just pushing some reds to the right side of the table. We had found a path. Went for the jugular there. He's left a red into the left middle for Dave. And can stun up and take this pink into the same pocket. Played it with pace. Stunned it almost a bit too much. Ooh, don't want to cannon into the blue with the red there. It's a thin cut. If this goes wrong, you might be in a lot of trouble, as reds are definitely opening up. Very fortunate that he came just onto the bulk side of the table, not into the bulk end. Dangerously could have stuck around in the business end. Get to see our friend Raymond McCarthy in the room. Looks like he's brought a couple of supporters as well. He's in tight with Tom Lamore. Definitely if you want any scores from that match or any that are in play right now or previous matches of the day. It's day one. Check out cloudsnooker.com. Cloudsnooker.com. That's where you can find all the results. See where your favorite player stands in the group stage. Definitely will be back here again for day two of this great championship, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're a little late starting on our stream this morning. A few little bugs that we had to work out. Just seems like all the case. Sometimes when we're coming away from our home or our native club, it makes it tough. As we're thrilled to be here in Concord, but we'd never seen this room before, so always a little bit of a learning curve to find out all the tricks of these new rooms. But come by the end of the weekend, Lance and myself will probably have it dialed in and be able to come back and put on another great tournament, because it is a nice room, a nice little city here in Concord, so hopefully they continue to have some great tournaments. It's a tough long red. And how's Mike's rest play? Yeah, taking that red by the blue. He's got to negotiate the red and green. Whereas this, he's just got to be proficient in this piece of equipment. Ooh. And maybe it's Dave's turn to see how he is with the rest. Great to hear Andre cheering on Raymond McCarthy all the way from Ireland and Old Jersey. Dave Daly here, that's at the table, comes to us by the way of Seattle, but he's originally from the Emerald Isle. So if you need your little bit of your Irish fix, hopefully Double D, Dave Daly, can suffice. Dave's doing a great job doing some refereeing as well when he's not in the match, being a great right-hand man to Lance Bromlin, as Lance is doing streaming, producing, and tournament directing. It's really a call out to all you out there. If you love this game, you want to see it progress. We've got a good contingency of players, but we do desperately at times need help behind the scenes just to make these events just run all the more smoother. That's a nice red there by Dave. Pop up, get a good angle on the green. That's not successful with that green, unfortunately for Dave. Let's give Mike an opportunity. Right into the yellow pocket and just stun and hold. Make a short little stun run through for the pink. Great shot. Those are just so difficult. Just the judgment of that pace. Just to hit into your object ball, freeze it for a little bit, and just slowly roll it up to your next object ball. Ooh, that really rolled on him there. I don't think he was expecting that much drawback. Wanted to be a little shorter of his finish mark. Playing safe, put his cue ball down the bulk area and kind of push that brown into. It's a great little hiding spot there with the green, brown, and yellow. Good little wall to get behind. Put your opponent in fits of bother. Well, this pink has maybe come to the rescue for Dave. Yeah, it has. There's that red in the open there. That pink is directly in the right way. And unlike pool, jump shots are definitely illegal. That is obviously with your cue ball. I don't know in the world how Mike could hit that red in a way to make it jump over the pink. But we've seen some wild things here today. But I think that shot would be clearly impossible. There's a little gap. Can that red go by? Tough to tell on the TV screen here. Yeah, you can't. That looks pretty close. I was thinking maybe that he could come and hit that red, and maybe the red would pass the green. He just stuns it with the cue ball to hold right behind the green, but unfortunately the red is rather close to the green, negating that opportunity. Easy there for Dave, so maybe clip off the left side of those two reds. No. Let's go a different route. Into a little tactical frame here. Wow, great shot there by Dave. Great eye to see it. He's got a little bit of chance for the black, but also the pink there. The problem is black is tough. If he falters, he's keeping his opponent in those reds there while taking the blue. Obviously the natural angle is going to push him away from the reds. Not a bad choice there by Dave, taking on the pink instead of the more profitable and point black. A total of 7 points. Whereas pink is just 6, and as we know, blue is 5, 4 for the brown, 3 for green, and 2 for yellow. And all those little ants, red balls, have a value of 1. That was a tough miss there by Dave. That was a risk. It's like a good opportunity for Mike. Just usually if you can get a couple good shots going, it really revs up the machine and more pots start to fall. He's broken those reds out. He's on a tough black. He'll take a great shot if he wants to continue. It's an elementary run back to the bulk area as there's a red just above the yellow spot. Now there's a cut here for Dave. Into the yellow pocket with this red. Thing is, if he misses, he's going to be putting his cue ball down into the business end, and there's a lot of open reds down there. Yeah, you might play that cut in a friendly with a friend back at your local club, but when you're playing in a national tournament, you don't want to put any unforced errors out there. He's got a mid-range red into the top left corner. I'm going to draw it back just so it does. Oh, we just tried to hold for the black. Maybe clip off those reds. Looks like a golden opportunity here for Mike. Black is going to go back on its spot. Great number of reds just out in the open. A bit high, might have to come up for pink or brown. Green. It's going to be tricky. That brown or pink, and the green was no picnic either. Mike already with the lead in this first frame. Oh, just as we say that, he just loops around that middle pocket. Middle pockets can be dangerous in California, as we've seen at Embassy Billiards. Past iterations of this U.S. Nationals event, our TV table with the middle pockets was causing some players some heavy nightmares. See what Dave can do. That missed pot there from Mike. A red makes that pretty much 9 times out of 10 into the middle pocket. That's a shot Dave's going to be kicking himself. Wasn't extremely easy, but definitely a shot I've seen Dave make more often than not. Yeah, if he takes this red into the top left, it's a thin cut, so his cue ball is going to be running around the table. It's done over for this red into the same pocket after this green. Nicely played. Increasing his lead in this first frame, best of 3 round robin match. He's got a choice of pink or brown into this bulk left corner pocket. Pink's going to really bring him down table. Taking the brown, he might cannon into that pink. To be Cue ball just to travel a few more inches closer to the black, but I think there's a pathway past this black for this red into the right middle to extend his advantage to 30 points. It's just 43 on the table. Just slide off the pink, or the brown, I should get behind the blue. Stunned it over, collecting the points. We take a cross double here. The element of safe. Ooh, it's close. You had the right idea. Mike's turn to take a trick there, trying to get behind the black. And he's popped out a red. Almost 11 feet. A table to cover for Dave. He's in. Yellow is definitely in a tough spot. And cut back double. Happy that pink didn't drop. Obviously where the cue ball landed, his idea was to be safe, and he has had the snooker. That pink just might come in handy for him a little later on. We'll see how this pans out. As he's trailing by 24 points, and there's 27 on. Dave Daly, that is. Dave just looking for an extension for the rests. Break out the redwoods. It's definitely a thin cut. Looks like this yellow is on the cushion. So trying to push the. Thought he might try to push the yellow, and then he's kind of behind the blue. That is, but mission unaccomplished. He's left a long yellow, but it definitely does go. Mike coming around, just taking a look at the potting angle. Just couldn't connect, just couldn't pull the trigger. Green's in a great spot for snooker. Neither player needs them. Done well to avoid the double kiss. Oh, wonderful. Just slid nicely behind there. I don't know if there's a path straight on. I think Daly has to swerve it or come off the cushion. He swerved it, but he might have a result here. Yeah, look at that luck of the Irish there. Our good friends at CBBS tuning in all the way from Brazil. Boa tarde. Yes, I look forward to seeing you wonderful Brazilians again in August when we get together in Sacramento for the Pan Am Championship. Oh, I was as rosy as a red ball, blushing ear to ear in Sheffield, England when I was taking in a match at the Media World Championship that goes on in Sheffield. A little fundraiser, making donations for the Jessie May Foundation. And my friend Shabanan, who works for the BBC, does great work, has a framed podcast, really interesting and insightful one with Canadian Jim White recently. And as we're watching a match, a gaggle of Brazilians came around the corner, screaming in jubilation my name, David, and it was just so nice to see them as Igor and Fabiano were participating in the World Seniors Championship, as both players had won that Seniors Championship the conquering 2 years, and Igor had actually won the Senior World Championship, so gifting him a spot to repeat. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful, and the Brazilian flag did not fly high at the World Seniors Championship this year, but there will be a lot of the green, yellow, blue, and white when we come in late August. Still working on my Portuguese, so tudo bem, meu amigo? Obrigado por lovely message. Well, Dave's got an opportunity here. He was giving laser looks at that cue ball, just making sure it doesn't drop, and this would be a tremendous steal if he can take this. It's certainly there for the taking. We would love that to run just a little more. It's just really thin. It's there. A thin shot. It's going to just make it tough. The cue ball. He's just having a look at the score. Just doing a little addition. We'll see. Hopefully someday soon in the future we can have markers or scorekeepers, so the players just can look over and see what the updated scoring is. Obviously they can't ask how many points they need. They have to do their own arithmetic. Oh, he has got an opportunity here. going to have to travel a lot with the cue ball. He's going to flick this pink in. Where is he going to land on the black? Oh, this is looking nice. He'd like to be closer, but he's given everything a chance. Big shot here on the black to steal the first frame. Dave Daly. It's not there. Oh, can you believe it? And he's all right, though. He hasn't gifted a shot to Mike Collier. I think Mike's just going to maybe push this black to the cushion. Swing around 2, 3, and maybe land on that bulk cushion. Oh no, just a gentle, delicate shot. Just 5 points in it. Dave Daly with the lead. He had that frame. I've seen a lot of the time, sometimes in past tournaments, that Dave has just been that close. Just needed that one ball to get over it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't happen for him. Hopefully, he can get a decent chance. Gave it a shot. Needs to run a little bit. Ooh, is it straight on? It's definitely there. Frame one. Definitely was still a big steal for Dave. No, we can't make it. Lots of distance. Makes that tough. Just going to pull up. Just enough. Just enough. Sometimes these pressure situations, you just got to take a little extra walk around the table, settle your nerves, trust your technique, just push the cue ball back and fully through the cue ball. Don't want to jab at it. And the beat goes on. Good safety shot there by Mike, putting that black ball tight to the bulk cushion. Equally responded by Dave. Wow, your fingernails, everybody. This is tense moments. It's only day one, first frame. Don't know what the standings are yet. I haven't had a chance to look at them on cloudsnooker.com. Cloudsnooker.com has a table there with all the results and where everyone fares in the group stage. Does he try the double? Mike. No, just playing the safe there, so. Great tactical affair here. Just who's going to be the first to falter and give their opponent at least half a chance. You got to think if you get half a chance, you're going to take it on. Tried the double, just missed, and the triple's going to miss. Got a good cue ball. Does he tempt Dave into taking this? Oh, certainly length. I think He's going to hit on the left side, push that black up and down the table. Decide to go the other way. Here's a little bit of a chance. I think Dave can at least put his hand. Well, he's got to negotiate the cushion with his bridge hand. A lot of table to cover here, but 4-frame, 1 win. Just missed it. It's coming back. It's not going to have the pace, and he's really going to leave it now. You can just see him slowly stroll off the table as he knows what he's done, hoping maybe just for a twitch in Mike's system here to give him another chance. But Mike to fought off Dave and take this first frame. No, it doesn't go. Can you believe another twist and turn? The luck of the Irish strike again. Dave going to try to double into the corner. Always so tough. Never really want to double him into the corner. Oh no. Oh no, what happened there? Just don't know what happened there. Maybe he was just in between shots when he was going into his backswing, because he's just gifted a beautiful opportunity here. There it is. It looked like Mike Collier was going to be really dredging this first frame as Dave battled back to really make it interesting, force us into the final black there. But a little blunder there by Dave on that final shot gifted a great opportunity for Mike Collier, and he takes this first frame by a scoreline of 44-42. And we'll step aside for a few short moments and be back with frame 2 action. Take care, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. We'll get that sponsorship page out of the way. These gentlemen, after a very high dramatic first frame, wanted to get right back into it. In this big tournament of this prestige, players are allowed to take a comfort break in between frames, but if they're caught expanding the length of that break, there is a frame penalty. See how Dave Daly responds. He definitely didn't roll over in that first frame. Is there a pathway here for that red? I don't know if there is. Yeah, it looks like that red's just blocking that red that's, as you can see, close. Cut this one in. Some awkward bridging, as you can see, with his hand there. Decent opportunity. Remain very still. For all you youngsters out there, newcomers to the game, if you watch these great players, only that back arm swinging back and forth really is the only thing that moves, and maybe a little tap of the finger on the bridge hand. Obviously, they're not tapping when they're taking the cue back. There's another trivia question, if anyone knows who started that, because it seems like someone started it way back, and then all of a sudden, all the players adapt to it. Oh, it's a touching ball, that's why they both were looking at it. Just picturesque of what I was talking about earlier. If you looked at that shot, they pretty much stayed down until the red ball came to a stop. Great discipline there by the man that lives in the Emerald City of Seattle and originally from the Emerald Island. Another chance for a long red here. Just going to play safe. Clicked off nicely. More fuller contact on that ball could have been disastrous. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to see the Flying Dutchman, Ernest Bezimer. He'll be helping us out refereeing as well. I think he's going to be doing the semi-final. So great to see that more players are kind of stepping up and doing a little bit more proactiveness behind the scenes. So with that nice long red. Looks like he's got a good angle on the brown. Come back down table. Well, he's got a thin, tough cut into the top right corner, top left corner, I should say. Went for it and gave it some pace that if he went in, at least he's back up for the blue. Obviously, a slower pace gives any chance for the ball to fall in the pocket. Misses just by a fraction, it sometimes can rattle in the jaws and leave your opponent with a elementary easy starting shot. Looks like there's a path here for this red into the yellow pocket. I hope everyone has a bunch of screens this weekend. I'm definitely happy that you're tuning in for this U.S. national champion, but starting tomorrow in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the Canadian National Senior Championships begins. That concludes on Tuesday, and then after that, from Wednesday to Sunday of the following week, that's the Open Canadian National Championship. Something we might see in the future here in America. Obviously, it doesn't have as rich a history as Canada does in the great game of snooker. So, also great snooker, and obviously on the other side of the world in China, the World Women's World Championship is going over there. Our good friends Matt Hewitt and Diana Schuler always do a wonderful job over there. Always a treat to work with them up there at Ox Billiards for the Women's U.S. Open. Not sure the date of that championship. I think just scheduling this year is going to be a bit later in the season for them, but definitely give a good Google search for WWS Snooker. That's that Women's World Snooker homepage. You can find out any information about upcoming events with that great tour. If you got a need for even more snooker, I highly advise WST Play. It's one of the top-notch snooker streaming services that the World Snooker Tour is providing. Lots of great old archival matches and an on-demand function that is just a game changer, I would say, in North America. So if you've missed any frame of the World Championship, obviously some of us might know who won already. Probably everyone does. If you're in the snooker world, you know who the world champion is, but there's some exciting moments there to relive. That Mark Williams, John Higgins, great clash in the second round, I believe, or it might have been quarterfinals. The class of '92. Watching Luca Brissell just be on fire in one of his matches, just putting them from everywhere. The exceptional proficiency of Zhao Xingtong, as in a session of 4 frames, won 4 frames in 44 minutes and 44 seconds. Now I know that's not as impressive as a 147 maximum break by Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, but still 4 frames in just under 45 minutes is some feat. It's interesting talking to a player on that note of Ronnie O'Sullivan's maximum clearance, the 147 that he did over Nick Price back in the World Championships. He did in about 5 minutes and 20 seconds. He really went at it, but there's another very interesting clip. Just wait for Mike to take the shot. It's nice blue into the middle. But there is a match there that Ronnie O'Sullivan actually potted, I believe, a red and a black, and then he turned to referee Jan Verhaas asking what the prize money was for maximum break. So he could just see it already. And obviously he caught Jan offhand. Didn't know really what to say, didn't know what the prize was, so they did a little research to find out what the prize was. It might have been £100,000 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly the exact prize amount, but it's interesting that it took a lot of bit. See, these players, we're amateurs here, so they have a bit of struggles, but there's players here that can really, put some breaks together, and they definitely make it look easy. This is a big table, 6 feet by 12 feet. Usually the diameters or the openings of the pockets are about 3 1/4, 3.5 inches. The size of the balls are 2 1/16 of an inch. It's definitely a challenging game, and I think that's what we always come back for as us humans in pretty much all walks of life, whether it's athletics or business, life. We're always trying to just achieve perfection. But we don't get it all the time, so that just keeps us fighting to achieve that goal. But right now, Mike is looking all right in this second frame. 25-point advantage. Wow. Steam was behind that ball. It just lasered into the corner pocket. Flicked, I think, a little too much into that. Maybe just a thicker contact into the red to hold better for the black. It's still on, but just a little bit of, just a little bit trickier. As you can see there, missed by quite a bit. Dave an opportunity. Red just below black, but he's not. He's just gonna play a little dirty. Just trying to get behind that pink. Tap on the table from his opponent. Acknowledging the great snooker there laid by Daly. This needs to run a bit more. This might come back. That's a better shot there. Grazed nicely off the red. Decent effort there by Dave. Oh no, those reds didn't help him. That is closest to his cue ball for Mike. Let's go. We might put a lot of screw onto this to come off the cushion. Just want to get by that black. Definitely have to be so precise when you're putting deep screw on it, as the margin for error is so high. You have to be so precise. He's all right there. The 4 reds. There's that little line, the one that's closest to the top right corner. Take this and stun up for the black into the middle. Just thinking, I think the black will go with the spot. I don't know if it'll be covered by that other red down there. It's just below the red that Mike took on. Let's look down into position that it's covering the black spot, but it's a thin cut. It's going to go up the table. He does have a nice reprieve that pink is near the side. All the bulk colors are pretty much on the spot. Looks like maybe green's just a little bit off. Nicely done. Would have loved just a little bit of a flick off that yellow just to deaden the pace. Now he's, with this pink, he's going to thinly cut it in and go in and around bulk. He's got to look at like about 3 cushions to come back down to the business end. So probably refusing the pink. Slowly increasing his lead. It's a busy room, so sometimes phones are going to be going off. These players just have to deal with it. Most of them should be in the amateur world. You know, the clubs that they're playing, I can't see them being completely quiet. See, when we come into the final, it should be very quiet. So, in the meantime, you know, we've got 8 tables in the works, 9, and the 9th table is acting as a practice table. A lot of comings and goings, matches rolling on, rolling off. Some fans in here wanting to take into the action. So Black to keep the frame going, so that comes to a close. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a marker or scorekeeper, but we'll get that updated score very quickly here. So, Mike's got a 42-point advantage, 65 on the table. Definitely Dave has points there. Black is open. Pink's somewhat open. Bulk is good. Blue's the only one that's really out of commission. I think here you just want to take baby steps and angle of this red. Might be able to swoop around the bottom cushion and kind of come back out table, not cannon into any other ball. I almost thought he had it. He had the great idea there. And this Black does it. Ooh, that's enough for sleepless nights. He's gonna take on it. Looks like, yeah. There's just enough to get by. Floating up nicely. I think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to be on the green, but maybe if that went in, it might have just been hit a bit thicker. He could have been on the pink. So, like coming and taking a look and seeing if another tool in the snooker player's toolbox. Break out the hoe. It's time to do some planting. Wow, very nicely done. Spot a while. Sometimes, you know, when two red balls are welded together, it makes the plant so much easier. When you get a bit of space between them, accuracy is of paramount importance. So it just makes those plants just that much more difficult. Yeah, that first frame missed Black for Dave, and then that little flub on that final attempt that he had on that final Black in that first frame. We're just going to not give him any good thoughts. He might have one more match to hopefully diffuse all those bad memories. He sure was in. Well, he's not out of it just yet. There's 51 points. Ooh, that came up quite a lot. Dave just electing to play safe. Trouble is putting that green safe. That's a ball he needs. In the here and the now, he's just got to tie up Mike, and if it does get to a point of that green, he'll come back and negotiate that when the time needs be. Yes. He's wearing the all gray. Good. Can you take a Jay back to the hotel? Put it in the hotel because you have the card that's just with our room, that hiccup and all that stuff. Just said Jay has got his credit card. Yeah. And we just need him to go over it, but he said you driving the car. Perfect, thank you. Yes, correct.
I haven't seen CC yet, but I'll let him know they're voting for the TV table. Alfred? Alfred Pinga?
Alfred and CC, yep, that's correct. Yep. 40 in it and 43 on.
Not you. Your wife. Bobby. Right.
David's brought the black out a little bit. Some insurance. I think he can take it just with the 2 pinks. Yeah, 2 pinks gives him. He could get a potential of a 41. This could be a costly mistake here for Dave. Yep, that red was the frame ball there. See, pink, another red, really to assure the deal. It's kept his head down nicely. Once he knew that pink was going in, he could lift up, start planning for his next shot. So it's an exciting first frame there, but definitely Mike Collier found a different stride here in the second frame. Really commiserations to Dave Daly. That was a tough loss. It would have been an exceptional steal if he got that first frame. Don't think this is going to matter. Dave extending his hand. There's the handshakes there. So Mike Collier takes that match 2 frames to nothing. He's looking good moving on. Dave has won a match. And next on the TV table, we have, I think, semi-finalist from a few years ago, CCU, who just relocated Empire Billiards up in the Seattle area. He'll be taking on Alfred Tinger, all the way from New York. It's the doctors in the house, so we're going to stand by for a few short moments, get everything set up for our next featured match. It's David Burney in the booth. Glad that you're tuning in. We'll see you in about a few minutes for another great match in day 1 of the 2025 U.S. National Snooker Championships. Take care, everyone.